those are the things about motivating yourself and changing life that are really big to think about. Little steps that make that positive momentum in your life.
Yeah. And I think for me, I needed that little bit
Right.
of change kind of motivated me to be like, okay, this is it.
But then you get that
was
feedback that makes you feel good, that then encourages you to keep going that route.
Welcome back. Happy New Year to Just Weirdly Blended. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Tom.
Because this is the first one back.
Of 2024. That's right.
I wrote that in my note, right? Because we were kind of going over what, talking points, kind of how we usually do.
Yeah. Throw it together last second.
I wrote first potty and then wrote some more stuff. And as I'm like looking at it, when we're about to start, I was like, what the fuck was that for? What am I talking about?
First potty. First time you go to the bathroom in a day.
It feels amazing.
It does.
I don't know. The first potty is usually like 2 a.m, right? 3 a.m, some awkward time. That's usually what it feels like.
That's definitely true. Yeah, yeah. But right when you don't want to get up out of bed.
I know. That's what happened to me the other last night. Actually, I woke up with that like dry, like cough. I started coughing. I'm like, my throat was so dry. I'm like, what the fuck? And I drank a little water, and that still didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
And so I popped in a cough drop to see if that would help.
Yeah.
I think once my mouth felt moist enough, it was like, we're good.
Yeah.
Because I was like, damn, I need to go back to sleep. I was like,
yeah. Oh, I hate that. When you're kind of like a little bit sick and you have like that nasal drip.
Oh, yeah, that's the worst.
Yeah, just that little cough that won't go away.
I think I got a little stuffy because JJ was stuffy at one time. But
everybody's sick. Everybody and their dog is sick right now. From something,
but I don't feel sick. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. Yeah. I know I can hear the stuffiness right now, but I don't feel like.
I don't hear it. You sound very normal.
Do I?
But neither one of us have noses at work, apparently.
Apparently not.
Yeah.
We just sniff some
what's it called? It's
basically smelling salts. Like you see athletes use.
Everybody's
but it's not
doing
snips.
it. Everyone's doing it right now. It's a real big thing.
No, and I didn't know that. I didn't know
either. Blanca knows because my wife watches all that kind of.
We're so involved in social media that we have no idea.
Yeah, I am on social media, but I'm not on social media. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Well, that's not the stuff I watch.
Yeah. No, me either. I don't want to see reaction videos. Nah, reaction videos maybe.
Like lately, I'm into chiropractic videos, watching people get the necks cracked.
Have you seen the one where they do the balloon in the nose?
I haven't seen that one.
The nose. Oh, it's crazy.
I don't know if I could do that.
They have, so it's like air, right?
Yeah.
Compressed air.
Yeah.
And then he's got like this long balloon at the end, and he kind of works it into the patient's nose. And then he's got a little valve he opens, and it releases into the nose. I'm sitting here picking my nose. And it pops all, because there's apparently like 200 little tiny bones inside of your face. And it pops those? And it pops them. And then they claim that they can breathe really well.
I can see that.
Because this side, like, I could smell. You had the same problem. This stuff smells like you don't even know what it
ammonia.
Smells
it's like if you guys ever smelled like cleaning ammonia,
it
has that like wakes your senses. That's pretty much what it is.
But I think when you mix it with water, you don't really get. I didn't get the smell. It was more just like the overwhelming, kind of like when you eat that really hot mustard.
That's what I get,
and it's like that shot of heat or whatever.
That's like air that tang. Just goes right inside.
Yeah. But
is that the smell though?
Plug my good sinus and with my bad one, and then eventually I kind of felt it. Then my eyes watered for a while, but
I could smell it the same way. I'd close one, and one was a little more strong than the other.
Yeah. Do you have to breathe through your mouth?
I don't know.
I have forever. My whole life I've had to.
I don't know. I just breathe how I breathe.
That's why I get very offended by those mouth breather jokes. I think it's very unkind. Not true
Was
at
Tony
all.
Soprano a mouth breather? He looks like a mouth breather.
I don't know.
So do you snore?
Well, I don't now. Since
like
I've
lost
do you sleep
weight.
Like that? No, but boy, back when my heaviest, yeah.
But do you sleep like that where it's like...
Probably.
You know what I'm saying?
Like Steve Urkel.
Laura. I used to love Family Matters.
A good show.
That was great.
Yeah.
But no, freaking, that would be weird to pop your nose.
Right?
that
I
scares
don't
me.
know if
Like,
I could do it. I know it'd feel very weird.
well, because like I broke my nose when I was in high school. I'm pretty sure I broke my nose. I just never went to the doctor. Like I played basketball, got cracked, blood shoots out my nose.
Yeah.
I get off the court and I go in the bathroom and I like just shoot my nose, like clear my nostrils and blood goes everywhere, right? And I
leave that, run back to the court.
and I did the whole checking. I was like, oh, it doesn't feel like it's crooked. It doesn't look crooked, but who knows what it did. But then, like, I don't know, 3 more times in my life,
break,
it's done that.
I've never
gotten cracked in my nose 3 times.
Yeah,
playing basketball.
Pretty good.
I'm not tall, so I'm like 5'7", 5'8", depending, and depending on who you ask.
Depending,
but I play like I'm 6'4". You know, I play like I'm trying to be big, and I'm always in the middle trying to get in there.
Sure,
and it always ends in the same. A big guy will come down because he obviously when he comes down, I'm at his elbows, and then crack. I'm like, oh. Fuck.
Damn it.
Yeah, dude. In Job Corps, I had one where I had a black eye on both sides.
Yeah, it was a bad one. That was probably the one that fucked your nose up.
Could have been.
Yeah. No, I've never had a nose injury. I just think I have really small or deformed nasal passages or something.
Yeah. So, I get it. I think, and then I did coke. So I wonder if I got like that deviated septum. Yeah. Because I don't know, was it that?
Well, I think you had to do a lot of coke to get that. I don't think it's just like a little dabbling. I think you got to do it years so that but I don't know.
I don't know either. What if my nose was that sensitive?
But I used to do powdered sugar, so I'm wondering if I. No, I know.
You got cavities up there.
I wonder if you could get high if you did enough powdered sugar. Please don't ever try it. Don't.
I feel like that would burn.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, that's the thing. Like that's like the coke thing, though. Like, wouldn't that feel kind of the same?
Coke doesn't burn though. It'll have like a tickle, right?
So you feel something going in.
It's more dull, like so. It's like more of a dull.
It'd be more sensation. Like a cream of tartar type, tartar powder or something like.
So like I think
very fine.
Sugar is just
granular.
The consistent,
very very thick.
Well, powdered sugar's
less more, that way, but sticky.
Yeah, right? It would be sticky up there.
I'm imagining cocaine's dry.
It is dry. And then it starts to drip. You feel what they call drip. But it'll numb like if it gets on your gums. Like you get numb a little. But it's the drip. Like you'll feel a drip. So sometimes you spit or.
The drug thing that really surprised me, and maybe I've talked about this. My brother was saying, because he's a cop, so he had to do a whole bunch of drug training and stuff like that. And they had heroin out.
Yeah,
that they want because they wanted them to be familiar with what everything was, so that they could identify it in the field. And he was shocked by the fact that heroin, in his view, smelled like vinegar chips.
Oh,
that's the smell that heroin had.
Gross.
And I've watched Intervention for years, and it's funny how your perception of things is different.
Yeah,
based on no experience. Like I used to think motorcycles would be light.
Yeah.
Why? I have no idea. It's a huge chunk of steel, right?
And a motor.
I had to move a dirt bike once, and even that was not light at all.
No.
So it's just amazing how stupid we are that we can see something and just be like, oh, in my experience, not that bad. In my experience, heroin, not one smell. No, apparently, you don't need a dog to smell out heroin.
Oh, you can just smell it.
He said it was a very potent vinegary smell.
Be like, no, that's not heroin. It's vinegar.
It's salt and vinegar chip, but just
I'm a Lay's delivery man.
Just the coating. I'm a Lay's. These are unmarked Lay's.
I'm smoggling.
Oh God,
it's heroin in Lay's bags.
One of the reasons that we eat so many Lay's chips is because the powder's actually heroin.
That's a terrible smell. Oh, right.
It's just powdered heroin all over it. By the way, Frito-Lay's people, it's just a joke.
It's not for real.
I think I'm going to start doing that thing like that South Park does, or like any coincidental is only coincidence. These are fictional characters. This is a fictional
scenario. Everything's
Lay's
made
potato
up.
Chip Company. It's fiction. No,
I don't know.
Lay's does not put heroin on their chips. They're just addictive.
No,
the way they are.
They do. And it's simple. They're big chip. The big chip corporation.
Have you ever heard of the big chip? What is that? What's the
It's like big pharma, just a little
big
bit.
chip. It's big chip.
It's just big
You
chip.
got your alcohol, you got your pharma, you got your guns, and you got your big chip. Big chip runs them all. Yeah, it's like the
It's
Paul
the chip.
Castellano of the.
Well, because it's unexpected.
Right.
You
I
know?
mean, the chip guy.
He's a chip
You
guy.
know,
He can't just have
he's
one.
smart. He's like
Yeah.
a business guy.
No, but and I say Coke is dull, but who knows? My nose don't work well.
Yeah, true.
I actually don't think it does actually.
Well,
either.
like you more dabbled in it,
But-
right? You weren't like a connoisseur of Coke.
No, I would just get some off. Like I knew a guy that would, like sling it, and then I would sometimes get some from him, or like one of my roommates. She knew someone, so she would get some, and so
Yeah. So
we would do it like at work. We'd be at work, fucking do a couple lines and shit.
Like,
Like
I gotta get through somehow.
yeah,
And that
it was
reminds me-
actually fun because I'd be walking around, and those times I'd be a little extra talkative.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, Jesse's really on it today. Oh.
He's
what's
usually in his
going on with
office
Jesse?
fucking hidden away. He must be on that yay, the schneef.
It's like the old is it Bob commercials where he is on Enzyte
Oh,
on
yeah.
the dick.
Bob is happy.
Bob's doing great. Bob just hit a hole in one with the wife.
Dude, I was just listening to a commercial. So we're driving to. So before we came over last night to meet David and Brooke and Jade,
Mm-hmm. Good memory, by
which
the way.
we'll bring up.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. You guys will know who these people are.
Well, I have to ask their name. So before I get there. So when I meet someone,
Yes.
I have to say their name to them.
Yeah.
So your name is Jade,
Right.
because it helps me
I
remember.
do the same thing, and I repeat it a couple times.
Yeah.
Like if we just met, I'd be like, "Hey, what's your name? Like, Jesse? Okay, you're Jesse. Hey, Jesse.
Yeah.
Jesse. I'll get that, Jesse."
All right.
And then later, I'm like, "What
Hey.
the fuck was your name?"
So Justin, right?
Yeah, right. So Dominic, I was talking about way off.
You're close.
Yeah.
It's Jesse.
It's just all right.
But that's usually how I try to remember. But anyway, so we went to like Target because I was gonna get a shirt. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna dress
you
up
looked
for the
very
occasion.
very nice last night.
Yeah, I was like, I need a new shirt.
I was in a
anyway.
freaking workout T-shirt. I felt
Actually,
a little underdressed.
my shirts have been feeling big, so I don't wear shirts as much because
Gotcha.
they feel too big now.
the T-shirts.
Yeah, I'm a skinny
Well, look
bitch
at
now.
this guy. I gained like 20 pounds over.
Well, I'm still 175, but I've thinned out. I think because I quit doing the energy drink, so it's not
Nice.
as much sugar.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
boy,
I gotta go back and just find the clips of me going, yeah.
just clip them all together.
There's a fucking bobblehead over here.
Just
Go
a compilation of you. Just yeah.
Yeah.
But,
All right, anyway, my apologies. Go
But
ahead.
anyway, I was like, you're looking for something, and then we were gonna look for the bed we were gonna put the futon for JJ's room and stuff.
Did you get one?
No.
Oh.
But anyway, we got other stuff.
Nice.
But they just have it.
Yeah.
So we just didn't. We were just like, okay, we'll just come back.
Yeah.
So gonna get a futon. So when Elliot's over, he fucking can sleep. Poor guy. He was like,
That
leaning
poor
up-
guy, him. That's his fault.
He leaning up against it. I'm like, oh, this guy.
My son, I always walk in to find him sleeping in awkward positions. He typically does have his face up against something, so his neck's at like a 90-degree angle. I'm like, bro, what?
I seen
you
it,
doing?
and I was. He would look super.
But he's
I
out.
wanted to move him,
He's comfy
but
and
he
he's
looked
out.
comfortable. But he didn't use a blanket. He's in his coat. I always feel super bad. Like, dude, why?
That's just him. That's
I
what he
know.
likes to do. I'm like, buddy.
So I threw a blanket on him.
Yeah.
You know, like they're my boys. I gotta take care of them. This is how I
This
always
kid,
look at
I'm like,
it. It's so funny.
oh god.
But anyway, so we're getting back to the story. It's get back to the commercial. We're talking commercials like Bob.
Yeah.
This one was a weed commercial, and it's like, you want to know how officers know you're high?
Oh, I
They
see what you mean. Not like
know.
buy weed. It's like right, one of those public service
Yeah.
announcements. Okay.
They
okay.
know. Your landlord, they know.
Oh yeah.
Everybody knows. Everybody knows. And I was like, but they don't. I know
Depends on
people-
the level of high.
It does
It does
depend.
depend on because there's times where you can tell, and there's times where you can't.
There's people who just have that look, right? Jim Brewer, I guess he's famous for that because he does look like I thought he was a stoner because of like how high and not how high,
But he kind
half
of
baked.
played right.
But he played it really well.
Yeah.
But he also just has that look, right?
He does. Yeah. And I think he kind of melds that into
And he doesn't
jokes.
smoke though.
No, right.
Never has, I don't think.
Good for him.
Is a thing. And then my buddy Nick, when I first met him, I always was like, dude looks like a stoner. Because he would have like his eyes would be red when he'd come in, right?
Oh.
And I was just like,
And
obviously I'd be stoned. And I'm like, dude, I think he's stoned, man.
Yeah.
But he doesn't smoke. He has asthma. He doesn't smoke, never has.
Did he have allergies? Is that why his eyes were red?
I think he probably does have allergies.
Right.
I've never actually asked him. I've known him for fucking...
Hey, back when I thought you were on weed.
I've known him for like 12 years.
For a while there, you looked like shit. You seemed like you were high. What was going on there?
I've probably said that where I've said I used to think he smoked or something. But he didn't know I smoked for years.
Yeah.
And maybe he just never said anything either.
Right.
But no, it made me laugh because everyone, they know.
Mm.
I'm like, but
the little girl down the
they
street
do that.
on her bike, she knows.
I'm like, no, they don't know. Fuck, I remember talking to CEOs and stuff of companies, and I'd be like,
blitzed,
baked, and that's the fence company when me and Gabe worked together.
Yeah,
and then they had a UAS because there was an accident. I was the passenger. Gabe was driving. It was Gabe's fault in the sense that he ran the stop sign, but it also wasn't his fault because the stop sign was covered.
Oh,
or something like that. And so when I looked, I said, stop. And by then it was too late in another car. Boom. But they UA'd us. Obviously, we smoked weed. And so, and I was like, I was at a party, so it might come back. Yeah. But like
I wasn't smoking. It was secondhand.
One of the CEO, he's like, one of the owners, he's like, I'm just surprised because I know when people are, like he was like adamant that he knows. And I'm like, oh boy, you did not.
Well, then
know.
see,
because I would be so
every day.
Back then, I was like,
but how do you know? Isn't it kind of like if you do a polygraph test, right? They get your baselines. So if you're just high all the time, then your baseline would just be like, this guy's just kind of high.
Even when I wasn't, I would talk like the president of like where I worked, the president of the company. Like I would interact with him a lot, and there would be times I wasn't, but then there would be times I really was, or I was on coke.
Dude, I could.
Or on pills, or on fucking something. I was fucking fucked up somehow. Never drank at work though.
That's good. I'm glad that you stuck to the hard
that was easier because you can't smell it.
True.
Unless you smoke weed like crazy and then the aroma.
I could not do that. I would not perform well at work. I would be so paranoid.
Yeah, I think I've done it so much.
So that would be a horrible mistake.
I bet you there's teachers who do. Unfortunately.
Yeah, they lose their jobs and their licenses. But yes, for probably good reason.
Yeah.
But no, I'm like,
Jimmy, I'm really having a fix. Do you know, does your dad still sling?
Principal's coming, kids. I need someone to look out that door for just a minute. All right.
Like, I'm smelling the smelling salt.
So bad. There has But
the Coke thing, like I said, it probably has a smell, and I
don't know. He never said anything about Coke.
Ajax or Clorox.
I remember when I was
it has a taste.
I worked in the halls, the residence halls in college. This is how. Well, first of all, I graduated high school thinking that drugs didn't exist where I lived, like Tri-Cities, Washington. I thought there were just no drugs. Oh, that's how. I guess you'd say sheltered I was.
Yeah.
I knew people. I had friends. Like I did things, but I was very anti drugs. I'm not really pro drugs today, but just like it wasn't the scene I had any interest in. I didn't want to go get drunk. I didn't want to do any of those types of things as a kid.
No, same here.
So I just was never around that thing.
Yeah.
And so I just assumed that there really wasn't any drugs here. Come to find out, there's a serious drug problem here. It's a horrible place for drugs. Like we're like part of the pipeline of America through here.
So we get a little bit.
The cartels. So we get quite a bit.
Yeah.
At one time, I think all the heroin came through us or something. There was something that.
Well, you got to think where we're at. We're like a central.
All right. That comes up here, up I-5.
But then they can like spread out.
And then it goes I-90 out east.
To Seattle.
At least the way it used to be. Out to Chicago, and then it goes everywhere else.
Yep.
But whether or not that's still true, I don't know. But 5-10 years ago, apparently that was the case.
That's not true.
I was so wrong. But
no,
yeah, it's
well, and we'll get this straight. I am anti-drug.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not a good thing.
Yeah.
I've made mistakes in my life, so it's like.
But that just gives you the credibility.
I am pro marijuana. I am for it. So, so I can't say
I'm for legalization. I don't really partake, but
I partake. So it's not.
I don't see the point in making it illegal and not profiting as a society off of.
I've never seen like someone freak out because they were stoned off of like marijuana. Like, oh my god,
right.
If they do, it's usually because they're stoned, but they're also fucked up on something else.
Right.
And that something else is I feel
causing the problem.
Yeah, usually when I'm like stoned, I'm just
all marijuana does is make people sit and chill, you know?
Yeah.
I mean not you. I know you're a superhuman. I don't know what it is with you. You're like this guy, I'll see him. I'll know you're high sometimes. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ. Outside of your red eyes, you just going doing your thing. I'm like, fuck, man, I'd be talking in circles and not wanting to move.
No, there's times where I feel like I'm too high, and then those are the times I'm like, fuck. I'm like, shit, man, I'm fucking probably too big to be interacting with anyone right now. But usually that's at night.
Yeah.
Usually.
Well, see, at nighttime is time to relax.
But I don't like it to make me sleepy.
Yeah.
So when I go, I always I try to find a strand that's more, because there's different strands that make you sleepy. Some make you more energetic.
Sativa.
That's like a more energetic.
Okay.
And that's usually what I get. It's something that's more.
I can't remember the other one.
There's indica. Then there's
like
hybrids.
Yeah. But those are the two mains, right? It started with sativa and indica. And then now they've got strands that are.
I heard indica in the couch.
In the couch.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Or whatever you call it. Mnemonic devices. Is that what they call it?
You're asking the wrong guy. You're
mnemonic
devices?
I don't know.
Smoking weed is the devil's lettuce. It's a demonic device.
Well, it's a class A
narcotic
or class 1, something, whatever they call it. And the feds are talking about removing it, maybe class 3.
They should.
Yeah, I know.
Because class 1's like heroin and shit.
Yeah, it's not your hard drug. So what is fentanyl? If heroin's that, like, there's got to be a new level for some of this new crap.
The God tier.
Yeah. This is like we don't even have a name for it. It's so bad.
Super tier, and then the rest.
Yeah. Jeez.
Fentanyl's scary though. Like that baby just passed. What was it?
We had a 4-year-old kid die here in town because the parents were doing fentanyl in a hotel room, and the kid was present. I don't think the kid even got into it. I think it just was in the air, but who knows? I don't know.
It could be.
I haven't read the story. It doesn't really matter. The point is, what a disaster.
That's so sad.
I don't know. How much worse can the drug scene get? I mean, we're at a point where the thing that people are doing can literally kill you just by being in the presence of it.
Like just inject it in your heart.
Just
that's the next thing.
Just a shot in the heart. Well, what was that?
I mean,
Cowboy Bebop. Remember they would shoot the stuff in their eye.
Tranquilizer. Oh yeah, Cowboy Bebop.
Right. They'd break. The guy was going nuts trying to fly away. And then he blows up. I guess he couldn't make it.
He was just one line. I gotta get that one last
Cowboy Bebop. That was a good show.
I don't know. And I won't lie. Some of those drugs were fun.
Drugs are fun, kids.
No, they're not fun, but like
no, I have no experience.
Like that's the thing. I know they're bad. I knew they were bad for me, so I didn't let them
get out of control.
There was times where some of them probably were more out of control than others, but it's like it was fun to feel that way.
Could you have seen a point of no return? Like,
was I at a point where I could see myself going that way?
Yeah, I mean, like, could you? Any of those? Were you ever at a point where you're like, yeah, like I can see how this is going to turn into something that's out of control?
Probably meth.
Okay,
would probably be the one.
So you could feel kind of that pull towards something that would be out of control.
I could see it go. I could see. I wouldn't allow it to get there. Yeah. Right. If that makes sense. Like I can't. I could never allow myself.
You had the personal control, but you could see why somebody.
Yeah, because oh yeah, for sure. Because as crazy as it, like I enjoyed the feeling. I guess you know.
Right. Like people wouldn't do it if they didn't enjoy the feeling.
Yeah, you know,
right?
that's what I like. I enjoyed that feeling, but I wouldn't do it where I was like clicking my teeth or like acting wow, because like I said, I'd be at work.
Jesus.
I'd be
Jesus
doing. I'm a very functional
Drug addict.
right? I'm very
That's
I can functional. I'm very functional when it comes to work or doing stuff. Like if I'm keeping busy or something, I can avoid things.
I don't know how you do it, man.
Right?
You got to have some superhero level.
I think there's lots of us out there. That's the thing.
It's like The Boys, but in real life, they're just all drug addicts. They can just pass through life.
Like we got this,
but not killing people.
But I could see how it could be that way because it was like you just enjoy doing it. Well, and there'd be sometimes you're like, why am I doing? Like there was times where I started like, why am I doing this?
Like at a time where you really didn't need it. Like it was.
I just never needed it. Right?
I mean, like there's times where you need a little meth. There's times you don't. I guess that's
life was stupid, hard, so I just needed it then.
But no, I mean, like I know with like having a glass of wine or something, or like even a cigar. Like I don't smoke cigars often, but there's times that I do. I've had them like twice in my life.
Special moments.
Just sitting there smoking a cigar and like, why am I doing it right now? Like
you just enjoy it, right?
Well, at that point, like I didn't really enjoy that one. I was just like, this is the wrong moment. I shouldn't.
Yeah.
I shouldn't. And now I'm in. Like I'm not gonna not smoke it, but yeah, I'm just like,
I can see how you can pick moments. That makes sense.
You know what I mean? Like, and like when I'm trying to keep my weight down, like I like to have a drink, like a glass of wine or a whiskey or sometimes.
And I think that's nothing.
But like, it's not. But then I tried to, last year I was talking about like having limits and setting like boundaries so I didn't gain weight. That kind of went out the window over December. But
you're getting on track.
There's nights where it's like, I kind of set up, kind of like you gave up drinking altogether. I was like, I'm not going to drink unless I'm like a social setting or like Friday night, that type of thing. So that there are many nights where I'm drinking nothing, and then a few nights where I'm drinking a little bit.
And I think
the habits, the routines.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I wish
I forget
that's
where I was going because I was tying it into what you were saying about drugs.
About doing drugs.
Yes,
I do that. Like all of a sudden, you're like, I had
the whole meth thing, like. There's moments where you're like, you like, oh, this was not one of those times where I needed to do the math.
Yeah.
Like, you see what I'm saying when I say need? It's like not a need, but like a, like, okay, like this is a time where a little math makes
No, so here's an example. And I'm telling people stuff like I don't think my wife knows or any, like people don't know this.
But now they do. So.
They know it. But there was a time where, like you're saying, there's those moments. This was probably not one of those moments, right? Meth, it's never a moment, but this definitely.
That is a perfect public announcement. Meth, it's never the moment.
It's never the moment. Fentanyl,
trademark.
Never.
Trademark. Just really blended 2024.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Copyright. I don't know.
But I was in the bathroom stall at work one time. Not where I work.
By the way, not current work.
Not current work.
Nobody can fire him here. This is over 10 years ago in the past. This is all 10 years prior.
This is a while back. And so I was in the bathroom, just fucking. I had my little pipe, and I would, roll it over here, and then.
No, hold on. You're like smoking the meth?
Yeah, I would be in the fucking.
Fuck, man.
In the stall, right?
With like your like light bulb or something. Like what do you mean?
I was in the public bathroom.
What do you mean? You just used like a weed pipe, huh? Or something.
Well, it's a ball, and then it has like a stem.
Yeah,
so it's used as a flower vase, is what they call it. They sell them at like fucking like just your convenience stores and shit.
Yeah,
like those offshoot convenience stores.
Big surprise.
Where they sell little like knives and light. This is like, oh, can I get one of them vases? But you know what you're doing.
I want to.
Can I get one of those vases with a fucking? It has like a carb in there because sometimes you have your pipes that have like the little. No, this one didn't. No, it was just all enclosed. So
the hole so you can.
No, it didn't have that. Never mind. I'm lying about that. It was just one ball, and then it had a stem coming out, right?
So you can carry one flower around. Is that the idea?
Yeah, right. So it's a glass pipe about that big.
Yeah, I had no idea. Why did it never dawn on me? All those years watching Intervention, somebody had to buy that somewhere.
Yeah, so
people aren't just producing their own glass.
And I didn't do that for a long time. I would find ways because I don't want people to know that what I'm doing, right?
Right.
So I would use fucking a empty glass bottle. It would be clean, obviously, like a whatever. And I would use the bottle as my It's my
But
pipe.
you can't bring a bottle into work. So-
No, not a bottle of liquor, but
just any bottle, right?
just any bottle.
Mayonnaise
I cleaned
bottle.
out a bottle of the Starbucks drinks or something.
Okay.
I'd clean out that bottle or stupid shit. And then, but I did end up getting one of those. But yeah, no, in the bathroom, definitely not a time. Like, I don't need to do this right now. I'm working. Maybe you can do this. If you're going to do this, maybe I could have done this afterward.
Sure. But reward yourself for the day of work.
Yeah.
But were you
by not wanting to go to sleep
that day? Was that a great day at work, though?
It was probably an excellent day.
Okay, guys. Everybody out there.
I did so much work.
Don't do drugs.
No,
and don't do drugs at work.
Yeah.
And I guess on a serious note, all joking aside,
I live a sober-ish life.
if you have a
I smoke
drug
weed here and
addiction
there, but-
problem,
Yeah,
we encourage you to go get help
for sure.
because it's obviously, look at this guy. He's doing very well. He's got a family. He's got a life.
Yeah.
He's no, you really.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that funny. I'm saying it like I'm not making fun of you here. I'm trying to be very serious. This is the life you want. You don't want the life of being on drugs and out of control and the devastation that comes with it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I mean, it's all jokes aside. There's got to be a phone number to get help.
Yeah, there is. There's something out there. There is help out there. So
Google it. You got a smartphone. I know you got a smartphone.
and I won't lie, like it's not easy. Some of those, like,
to get
stop
help.
drinking.
No, it's not at all.
Like to stop. Like stop. For some people, it's easier than others. Obviously, like I feel like for me, stopping drinking was easier. Than I thought. But usually, when I'm like set on something, I won't let anything.
You're a very motivated person.
Yeah, I won't allow it. Right. Like when I did coke, I wasn't like to the point where I was like buying it like crazy, but I didn't. So that wasn't bad. When I stopped like meth, that was probably the harder one. That took like probably a week or two.
Was there
to like finally feel normal
side effects of it?
Oh yeah,
because there's right.
I'd be dead tired, right? Like tired.
Yeah.
Like I could be sitting there at work and I could just like pass out in my chair because I would just be my body would just be finally like, even though I would kind of try to sleep at night, like I was never fully my body probably was never fully sleeping the way it should, the way you slow down your heart rate and all that shit. Like my heart was probably still like, well, okay, what's going on?
Right.
And I was trying to sleep.
And your body was trying to
Or you ever sleep, but you just hear everything around you?
Yeah. You're not in a deep sleep.
Yeah. I was never like that. So my body, like that for me was probably the worst, like trying to get like.
Because you just couldn't really sleep.
Yeah. And I was like, and I hated that feeling. And so that was my motivation not to do it. Cause I was like, no, I don't like that feeling.
Because imagine if it got even worse.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't like that feeling. I don't like this, like I don't like feeling this way. So I was like, yeah. And obviously I knew doing that. I was like, okay, I need to stop doing this shit. Like,
what's the end game?
Like, what's the point?
Right.
But
at that time, that was.
And I think around that time, I stopped. Like, I wasn't really drinking like then. Like, I would drink with my roommates and stuff.
Well, because when I met you, I was a bad example, a bad influence. I don't remember you drinking really at all.
Well, no, see, and I didn't really. I did drink, but not like.
Yeah. Like you and I started hanging out, and then we
we fed off each other.
We're better now. We're different people.
Yeah, but like, so I didn't really drink, but like I stopped doing. So I stopped doing that. And I didn't even smoke weed for a few years after that. But then obviously, like weed, I like smoking weed. It helps me more. I think. Well, mentally on something. It's like my anxiety pill.
You manage it. And you don't do dangerous things when you're on it.
No.
You're a responsible connoisseur. I would call you a connoisseur of weed.
Oh, this is a 2014.
Probably, bro.
It'd be dry and nasty.
Yeah,
this is terrible.
How do you store it long term?
I don't know.
Yeah, because like with cigars, you've got to keep the humidity right.
Probably
or else
the
they
same.
dry out and they're gross.
I'm guessing it'd be like similar,
right?
I don't know. I know, like the older it is, it's
You know what's funny is like with cigars, I have like a wooden. I have a couple of them wood cigar boxes. They call them humidifier. Is it now? What the humidor? There we go.
Yeah.
That's the word. But I went into the cigar shop one time and I was like, "Hey, I have this wooden humidor that I want to kind of fill," and they're like, "Well, have you seasoned it?" And like, Like with salt and pepper? What do you mean?
What do you
So,
season?
so you have to take distilled water and you have to rub it down the cedar inside with distilled water, and you got to get the moisture just right, and you got to keep it just right.
Oh, Jesus.
So they go, honestly, unless you really want to do that work, they're like, we can even season it for you for free. Like they do. It's a cool store. They do a lot of things. Cigar Savvy. I'm going to do a free shout out. Cigar Savvy here in Richland, right behind the mall on Gage Boulevard. They're great, really cool people, and they do a lot of nice things. Like if you buy a lighter there, they'll do free refills forever.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, I my lighter went bad, and they gave me the value of that lighter towards a new one.
Oh shit!
Because you have to have like the heavy torch butane lighters to do a cigar. I mean, you don't have to, but it works a lot better.
I wonder if that would work better for my joints.
Probably because you got the high heat.
Because sometimes one side usually is burns and the other side doesn't, and I don't like. I like cigar, it even. I like
when
it even.
You get one side really burnt, it's same thing, and then the whole way down, you got like this like double ridge.
You got it's the same thing. Yeah,
it's like come on, man.
Cigars and
when you get a perfect burn all the way around, nothing better.
It is nice.
You get a good draw.
I've been into like smoking joints. So like at
Old
night, I'll just have like one, not a whole one, but I'll have like a half.
How long does it take to smoke a joint?
Depends on the person, I guess.
Yeah.
For me, it'll take a few days.
Well, I'm saying like a cigarette, right? You sit and you smoke a cigarette.
It's
like
kind of the same.
It doesn't take very long, right?
Yeah.
But like a joint, you're not necessarily going to smoke the whole thing at one sitting. Is that
most people will?
Okay, but you don't.
I don't. Because, just like a cigar, re-smoking an old cigar, it has a smell. It's not the same, right?
I hate it. No, I won't do a used cigar.
So like weeds, like a joint's similar in the sense, but I don't mind it.
Stale burn.
If you don't like it, you can just, start a new.
Oh, I've tried that. I've tried where you clip it.
But it's already inside.
It's inside. A cigar, if you're going to smoke a cigar, you just carve out an hour to just relax with it.
Yeah.
And that's why I don't do it all that often. But every once in a while, like I wouldn't consider myself a smoker. I wouldn't consider myself even like a tobacco user because I don't do it enough. But every once in a while,
that's what all addicts say.
I can quit anytime I want, man. I can quit. I can quit today, but if I wanted to,
I could quit. But no, I get what you're saying.
I'll suck your dick for a cigar. No, just kidding.
But you don't do it enough where it's like a habit.
No, it's not a habit, and it's not even like.
But you do in a gentlemanly way.
Yeah, I mean, like my brother will come over sometimes. We'll just have a cigar.
I know you wanted to come over. You wanted me to
like. Would you come sit with me while I smoke a cigar?
I know, and I didn't.
This guy, I've been trying to get him to hang out with me for 2 days.
He has. I feel so bad. I told Alicia yesterday, I was like, because then she was taking a minute to watch the movie with me, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes wives do that. Like they want to spend time, but then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna spend time with you, so no phones. But I didn't say that because I didn't want to start anything.
Yes, but we're spending time because we never are the ones spending time with them. But then they're on their fucking phone the whole time.
So I was just like, okay, whatever. And then, Cheeky was out there. They were playing some game, and
But then you don't get the credit for spending that time with them.
And so I was just like, I just put it there. But then she ended up, I think her phone was dying or something. So she ended up coming back towards the end, like, with, about an hour, maybe an hour left of the movie. But there was times I was like, girl, I should have just went over and hang out with Tom.
You could have.
I was like,
although I went to bed.
I felt myself getting that way.
I went to bed.
I was tired. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Well, that was cool. Yeah. So they hosted a dinner and we met their
We did.
It felt
very grown up. It felt very nice.
It felt too grown up.
We had these guys over, and then the friends that we
kind of dressed up more.
God, you guys look fancy.
I was wearing black jeans and a gray, just normal button-up shirt.
I'm
wearing what I just.
You wore a collared shirt. It was very nice.
It was a collared shirt.
I actually, if I had had time, I would have dressed up a little more. But no, our other friends, Brooke and David and Jade, they're not real. They're not super dressed up people.
Well, I didn't. So it's funny because this is why I wanted to save this part. Right? Yeah. Is me and Alicia had this idea of who they were. Because you always build this idea of someone you haven't met, right?
Yeah.
And we never thought they were like assholes or anything crazy. No. Obviously, you guys are hanging out with them, so
But
that
Brooke,
alone, we know they're cool.
right? Brooke is a prosecuting attorney,
Already
right?
crazy sounding, right?
And her husband owns his own construction company,
Right.
it's like,
So I pictured boots and, but I really.
boots.
Boots.
I pictured work boots.
I pictured him in jeans and work boots. I
see.
thought,
Okay,
I pictured her more in like businessy.
like a black.
I don't know. What do you
A
picture
blouse and a
prosecuting?
black. Yeah, I mean, like she's
a politician.
She never takes her work clothes off,
Never.
ever.
But
Yeah.
like I had this mind built up that they were these like
Stuffy,
not stuffy in a bad sense,
but just
like
kind
they
of.
like they didn't seem that they're really down to earth people.
Yes, they
They're
are.
very cool. Like
They are.
I know Blanca wasn't sure if Alicia how she felt, but like I said, when I got home, Alicia was like, "Oh man, I really like them."
Well, Blanca always has to give her shit. So
Yeah. Well, Alicia also did like, but Alicia was my wife's normally very not loud, but she's very. Her and Blanca can be loud together,
Yes.
outspoken. My wife like will talk shit.
yeah, Alicia is very boisterous when she's comfortable.
Yeah. Last
But
night she
very
was not.
quiet if she's not. If there's new people, she's like very quiet.
Yeah, she's shy. She's like that at work still. Like
Yeah?
she's
Really?
quiet. No, she's they know her as how she is, but
Yeah.
when it comes to certain topics, she's very shy.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to adult,
At work.
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, well, because the girls at work will talk about dildos and
Jeez.
crazy shit like that. They're they're very open. They're just and Alicia's like, like she doesn't talk that way.
Oh, bye.
Is it getting hot in here? So yesterday she was very shy.
Yeah.
But
great.
but we had this in our mental image. They were because Alicia goes, they didn't. She goes, I didn't picture them that way. They were really cool. Like she goes, I didn't mean like she pictured them being cool, but she didn't. She pictured them more rich looking.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it.
Like uncomfortable.
They just look like just your down to earth.
Yeah.
Just,
No, they're great.
they know where they came
Yeah.
from, kind of people.
Right.
Like stuff like that. They seem really
They're
cool.
very real.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think. Yeah.
No, we were all kind of conversating right there
Yeah.
when we were playing that game. That first game.
What was
we
it called? What was that game called? We played Farkle, which is pretty fun. And we played something hot.
I don't know.
We had to put our fingers together and go sizzle.
Sizzle.
So some kind of fire flame game. It was actually more fun than I thought.
Yeah, because you start with 3 cards, and then you guys have to count to 21 as a group, and then when you get to these certain cards, you have to kind of do or say what the card says.
Yeah.
Instead of saying number 3, you would say it in a sexy voice or
Yeah.
something
Right.
like that.
Say something funny, or you had to give a fact.
But
out.
one of them that was funny was your stripper name.
Yes. That was the most fun.
Yeah. So it's funny because Brooke, she was like, well, I think the thing is usually it's your middle name and where
The street you lived on.
the street you lived
as a
on.
kid.
That's kind of the
Which sucked for me because it was
Yours
Gregory
was-
Roosevelt.
yours was cool. You sound like
I
a
don't know.
bisexual porn star.
Gregory Roosevelt.
Like he'll give her some D as he's taking some D.
Gregory Roosevelt would. In
You
a
know?
very British style. I don't
Mine
know.
was Dustin Rainbow. I would have done the same.
Dustin
fucking- I would be
Rainbow.
taking the D.
So I was just complete gay.
No, you were giving the D. You were, but you're also giving the girls some D. So you're,
Oh, okay.
you know what I'm saying?
All right. Yeah. Boy, I am so glad I'm not important. All right? That was another one you had to name porn categories.
But my wife had a pretty good one.
Yeah.
It was Maria Natchis.
Maria Natchis. That is
Your Latina
amazing.
porn.
That is. I would be shocked if there wasn't actually a porn star named
I'm gonna Google it later.
Maria Natchis.
Babe, look, there's a real one.
Yeah. From Natchis. It's
From
crazy.
Natchis.
For those of you that don't know, Natchis is just outside of Yakima.
Yeah, but she grew up on a street, I guess, called Natchis or one of the streets. That's the thing. The street I used is the only street I kind of remember.
Yeah, Dustin Rainbow.
Unless
How
I
would you
would-
forget the Rainbow Street? I mean,
It's Rainbow Street. Yeah, that was when I lived in
like growing
Henderson.
up on Elmo Street. What the fuck? Sesame Street.
Sesame Street. Yeah. You would remember Sesame.
Elmo Street. Well, it's not very famous. Not many people know it.
I was like, I wouldn't forget an Elmo
Ginger Street. Was it Ginger? Sesame. There we go.
Growing up in Sesame Street. Oh man, I
God,
love
can you imagine if you were like Sesame Street was the street
there a
you
real
grew up
street?
on? There's got to be somewhere, right?
Is there a
And
real
Sesame
street?
is Sesame Street. Like
I'm gonna look it up right now. Google Map this bitch.
your name is your middle name is Ginger Sesame.
Ginger Sesame. Like
Ginger Sesame.
you're yeah.
It
Sesame
would almost sound like Japanese or something, wouldn't it?
Street. It would.
Like sashimi.
There's one in Silverdale, Washington.
Look at that.
So, Sesame Street Northwest. Sesame Street's in Chula Vista, Cali.
Everybody that names a street Sesame Street
Florida
has to know
has
what
one.
they're doing, right?
Florida Sesame Street Land.
Sesame Street Land.
Yeah, that's Florida. Get your shit together. That's a stupid name.
So that's a road.
Wait, unless that's an attraction.
Okay.
Do you think that's like Disneyland? It's just Sesame
Maybe.
Street.
Oh,
You can ride the Big Bird ride. Yeah.
the trash guy. What's his name?
Oh, it is.
Really?
Yeah,
It's a theme park.
it is. Sesame Street Land. Wow, that's really cool. Yeah.
Wow. What's the guy that Grover? No, who's
Oh,
the
there's
guy
that
lived in the
fucking-
trash can?
That was Grouch, dude. Oscar.
Grouch.
There's his house right
Oscar
here.
the Grouch.
That's Oscar the Grouch living
That's
next to the
him.
Recycle Man. Recycling Ralph. I remember him. No, I don't. I'm just made that up.
Recycling Ralph.
Yeah, you remember him?
Like
He was
fucking
always
Ralph.
puking and shit.
Yeah.
Recycling stuff because he was
Oh,
the drunk
shit.
with Grouch. You know, Grouch was a fucking.
Grouch was a drug addict.
He was.
Do you
Our
remember,
recovery, he's just bitter.
Do you remember when Dave Chappelle did this skit?
Oh,
it was
I
like
love it.
Sesame Street, but
How they were like, fuck.
STDs and
He's
stuff.
like, I would hate to live on Sesame Street. He goes, get a job, Grouch.
Didn't he have like a needle stuck in his arm or something?
It's something. It
Because
was
he
so
lives
funny.
in a trash can.
Yeah, it was great.
Oh my god! I also love the one when he did the real life.
That's probably one of my-
GTA.
That's probably one of my most favorite Chappelle stand-ups is that
So
one
good.
where he talks about Sesame Street sprinkling crack on a. And the scene was, oh, that's one thing I've never tried. I felt like crack and heroin
Mm-hmm.
would have been, you hear like you say you have this perception.
Yeah. Right.
So I always perceive them as heavily addictive. Like
Right.
the first time you're fucked.
Right.
So that scared me, and like dropping acid, doing those things,
Yeah.
kind of like those had there was a scare factor for me where
There
I
was
was
a
like,
level that you weren't willing,
like I didn't.
but meth just made it under that radar.
It did, because I think it's because my roommate, she kind of introduced me to like
Gotcha.
coke and meth, and
So she was a
She-
good influence on your life.
Ruz, positive influence. No,
Really glad you met her. That's
I
great.
know. Aside from that, like we had she was cool. Aside from that,
Aside from being a drug addict, she was great. Well, no, drug addicts are
we-
people too.
no, she was a good person. Aside from that, like
Yeah.
she did that obviously, but like she was actually very fun loving.
I think
she
we talked about it.
she
She's
was-
doing okay now.
Yeah,
Like,
she's doing great now. Yeah,
Good. Good.
but yeah, she introduced me, and I trusted her in that sense that I knew she wouldn't. She's like, nah, it's not like what you think, and so
Yeah.
fuck. And me being like, oh, that's all I needed.
Well, at that time, you and Blanc had broken up, right?
Yeah, I
So
was single. I was
You
living
felt
single.
like you'd kind of
was like-
lost your family unit. And,
I was just like, let me just do my thing.
Hey, fuck it.
Yeah, let me just do my.
What else can go wrong?
I don't have my kids with me or anything like that, and so it's just like, fuck it. But yeah, it was. So it wasn't like I think, but like heroin, that stuff. There was just no way I would have.
Yeah.
Like, nah, I'm good.
You want to watch?
Nah, I'm good.
There are so many movies to scare you away from heroin. Panic in Needle Park with Al Pacino. If
Was
you-
it what
if you-
Train?
Train Spotting?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one
where
I
the guy
remember.
that doesn't do drugs gets AIDS. That was crazy. Just the guy that screws chicks all the time. He's the one that got AIDS.
Well, I mean, that's how you get
I
him.
mean, he should have worn a condom.
She could have been a drug addict that gave him AIDS.
True, probably was.
You know what I'm saying?
And then another Requiem for a Dream. That was another.
Oh
one.
yeah. Jared
There
Leto.
aren't many happy heroin movies. I mean, it never ends well.
They always OD and die.
That's the big thing about drugs, kids. Like, you think you want a little fun.
You
It
don't.
never ends well.
Honestly, you don't. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
It's not worth the risk.
it's not.
But
Especially nowadays with that fentanyl.
oh
Like
my god, and
you-
everything. Everything.
I'm kind of glad I missed that.
kind of.
I'm kind of glad I
I'm a
missed
little
it.
glad I missed
I mean,
it.
I wish I would have kind of known.
Yeah,
No,
maybe
but you know
I
what I
had
mean?
an accidental taste
See,
once.
that's where you use the right words. I'm bad at that.
Yeah, no, I gotcha.
Maybe when it's for sure.
Yeah,
I
Kinda
might
glad.
stop, but I'm actually really glad. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but like,
yeah.
because that's scary. That would have scared me. Probably not to do it. Maybe God damn it, I should have been there. Then I would have never done nothing.
Yeah. See, that's how I was forever. The whole thing freaks
Well,
me
my
out.
mom's like, I was afraid of my mom. So through high school and stuff, I never smoked. I never drank. I never did any of that stuff. I didn't smoke weed until I was 21. I didn't drink until I was about that age. And then,
I had no fear of my parents. Well, I mean, like, I guess I did because I knew my parents would be very upset if I ever did drugs. But it just was like the idea of drugs was so scary to me.
Yeah.
And they really still are.
They are.
I just the idea of being in that situation, because like, you know, I've obviously drank alcohol and it's easy enough to be like, I'm gonna have a drink. It's not like it's ending your life, but I know how easy it is to be like, I'm not gonna have a drink today, and then be like, fuck it, I'll have a drink.
Yeah.
And then,
Fuck it.
why would heroin be any different?
Yeah.
Fuck it. This is one more little shot. Okay, I'm good.
See, and that, that's another reason I wouldn't do it, is because, like, I don't think I could put a needle in myself.
Most people can't until they're addicted to heroin.
No, I couldn't even just for the one time to try it.
If you watch like Intervention and you see those episodes where like it's usually some little girl trying to get like, not young, but like skinny girl trying to get a vein and she can't because they're all collapsed. It is the most horrific thing.
Well, yeah, they'll do it in like your toes, between your fingers.
Christopher Moltisanti in The Sopranos was famous for doing it between the toes because nobody could see.
Yeah, no, that was a thing though.
Yuck.
That's I don't know. I couldn't do that.
Well, you got these guys that are so out of it that they're like picking up somebody else's used needle to do it. I'm just like, so gross. I can't. And I don't mean that disrespectfully to anybody. But it's disgusting. It's gross. It's horrible. Nobody should have to live that way.
No, that'd be scary.
Stay sober. What? Don't get pulled over. Stay sober.
Yeah. I know. Freaking my boss sent me a bottle. Told me. I think I said that last podcast. And then so I had 2 bottles. So I actually was at work Friday, right? Because I guess he got a new pup, and so he was asking a couple of us to see if we can help out. You know. So I was like, I'll cover Friday. So I went there and I get my bottles, and it's like this. The first one was from last year. Was like a whiskey, like a Jack Daniel's like whiskey, but like a nice one, and it came with like these 2 like nice whiskey glasses. Nice. I was like, damn. And then the other one was a Crown Royal, but an apple.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, shit. So now I have these 2, good sized bottles. Yeah, sitting in the house in boxes. I'm like, fuck, I should just bring these over to Tom.
That's from Tyler.
Yeah,
he's not that bad of a guy.
No, he's good. He has good taste. Once I get to know him, like he's not as.
And that's
not bad
probably
anymore.
changed with you getting on the road more, being more in your zone, your element.
Yeah.
You kind of
I think I've as a supervisor, my game's kind of stepped up.
Nice.
I've had to stay the last week and a half, 2 weeks now home. Yeah. And so.
Which makes sense. I mean, you don't want to be on the road all the time, but.
Yeah. So last week was my first week home for a while, actually, because the previous week I was on vacation at home. I did go do some work. My first PTO day, I ended up going to Walla Walla, but this one was my first week back, after New Year's.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. I can feel myself like this is getting boring. All right, no, there's things I got to do. I got to prep. I got a new hire starting Monday. So I got to go. I got to get his paperwork ready and then, get stuff. So I'm like, okay, let's just work on this. Let's just work. I'm trying to find tasks.
Nice.
To try to stay because I'm like, nope. Because, the 15th, the week of the 15th, I'm going to Oregon for a week. So I'm like, let's go.
Yeah. See, I'm the opposite. Like I get to work and I just one thing after another. Like I can't. Well, I mean, it's different.
It's different.
Working with kids and stuff, but like
you're on
even in downtime, like I'm trying to get as much in as I can. And I think that's just part of my I used to be a procrastinator in high school, bad. And like all of early life. College, I procrastinate, but I always got stuff done on time. And then for whatever reason with work, it's like I don't procrastinate. I still have to cram things in last minute because there's just too much to do. But it's like I just have this like
let's go
drive mentality, like I'm on or I'm off. And Yeah, from the second I walk in the door to the second I leave, it's like boom, 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 boom.
Well, that's good though. Like,
It's good. It does, like, I don't know. I need to be better at being flexible. Like, Blanca has to handle a lot for the house. You know, like, because she works from home. She can do it more easily than I can. But, like, instead of making a phone call to set something up, like an appointment for the house or something like that, I'll just be like busy doing work stuff. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's really hard for me to shut it off
and like
stop,
take a break
and then come back to it.
I think sometimes you need to take a break because you can like burn yourself out.
Right. Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? We get that burnout and you're like, ah, fuck, I don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hate my job or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's what I get is I'll get that burnout. And so when I'm at home that week, I don't want to do shit, but I know I have to do shit.
Right.
It sucks.
But then you get mad because you're like, I don't want to do it.
And so then it like kind of spills over and like maybe the personal life, maybe I'm a little more irritable than normal or something. Right. So I'm going to try to really make it a habit of being out a little more.
Yeah.
Just because I think mentally it's been better for me.
Yeah, I think so.
Like I said, I feel better about myself.
And your job performance goes up, which makes you feel good about yourself. Like those are the things about motivating yourself and changing life that are really big to think about. You know, little steps that make that positive momentum in your life.
Yeah. And I think for me, I needed that little bit of change kind of motivated me to be like, okay, this is it.
But then you get that feedback that makes you feel good, that then encourages you to keep going that route.
Yep.
You know? Yeah.
Because you keep going and you just, all right, okay. So it is working. It is doing what I thought.
Right.
Let's keep going. Let's keep going. And that's kind of what I got on, I had my one-on-one on Wednesday. So we were, we just, chit chat about New Year's, whatever.
Yeah.
And then, I let him know how things have been going with, my team, where I'm standing. And then I was just like, he's like, so are you getting out? You're going to get out more and stuff? I'm like, yeah, no, I think it's actually very helpful. The clinic seems to really enjoy it. The I'm able to like talk to the clinic directors, and, I think they actually enjoyed it when I was in Oregon the last couple of weeks. Like I was getting a lot of positive feedback. It made me realize how much I kind of miss doing tech work. Yeah. It's because I was like,
but it also keeps you connected to that work too, where you don't get just office guy, And that's
what was going on. Like I'm always asking because my team's going to know more about the job than I am, and I'm gonna admit that because I'm not going to be like I'm better. Is there things I can do better? Probably, but like they know the ins and outs a little easier. So being able to like hands on, I can. Oh, okay. Oh, that's how you did it. Okay, do it myself, or you know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. But I got positive feedback from him saying, yeah, man, if I'll pay for the mileage and the hotels, as long as we're getting, we keep getting this positive feedback. That's great. That's what we want.
Nice.
To have that in the field.
And has he noticed
because
anything in your attitude or anything?
I think so. I think he sees it. He hasn't said it, but I think he sees that like
it's a positive
I'm out more. I'm like,
but
that it's, my team's what we consider the face of IS,
IT or
of the IT, same. We'll
informational systems.
Yeah, same difference. Yeah. So we're out there. So when there's something bad happening and we're acting bad, and it's not our fault, we're getting the blunt end, and so they view IS as you guys are dicks or this,
right?
But when they see that, like the team's actually like that, they see the supervisor out there too. They're like, well, shit, man, these guys.
It's like Sammy the Bull out there whacking people.
Yeah. I was doing it. I went to Oregon and got rid of her ass. Christmas, I don't give a fuck about your Christmas.
Hypothetical scenario. Any connection to real life is completely coincidental.
I know. But I mean, fictional. Talking about New Year's, though, you were talking about resolutions.
I don't make them.
Yeah, and it's funny because I'm the same way.
Yeah, I don't believe in resolutions because my feeling is if you're choosing... Look, a recalibration I get. Or like setting a goal is not bad. Don't get me wrong, because like I'm doing that now.
Well, you can set goals anytime.
Yeah, I've had the weight loss thing that I really needed to do, and I'm way off. I had all those rules I set. I'm broken those rules 1,000 times. I put on like 20 pounds over the holiday. Not good. So I'm looking at it like, I guess you could say a resolution is to get back on track, start getting some of those pieces in place again where I get that weight back down. And
but
everything's good.
you don't need New Year's to do that. You know?
Yeah, my issue with New Year's resolutions saying like, now that I've done everything I want to do and eaten everything I want and blah blah blah, now suddenly I'm going to call the resolution and I'm going to change it and I'm going to buy a gym membership and I'm going to. People throw away so much money and resources.
Well, that's why
on
gym
bullshit
memberships
that
are so
they
cheap.
really aren't gonna do.
Mhm.
So that's my issue with resolutions. Is it's fake.
Yeah.
You know,
It is.
everybody and their dog makes a resolution. Like 10% of people, maybe.
Let's
Hold
change the way we view resolutions.
So exactly, like there is never a bad time to set a resolution, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
But a resolution is something, you know, it's kind of like a marriage. Like it should be something very serious.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts. Every year we're going to set a resolution. No. When
Yeah.
you're ready,
That's
then
when you
commit
said
to it.
Exactly.
Then commit to it, and then you'll be ready to go.
Well, that's kind of how I feel. Like, so for New Year's we had like family over at the house, and Jaime, my sister-in-law's husband, his name's Jaime. He's like, hey, what's your resolution? I was like, I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't have one really. I go, I mean, I have certain goals that I want to accomplish, but I mean, those are things I'm already trying to go at. You know, I'm like, you know, I want to get my kitchen done. You know, it hasn't happened yet, but we're slowly wanting, you know, gonna start doing that stuff, or we're, you know, getting things underway for other things.
Yeah.
So it's like I have these are my goals for the year,
right,
that I want to accomplish before the end of the next year. But it's not like I made it today.
Yeah.
You know, it's not for this day. It's just this is my goal that I set. And so I'm just going to go and make that happen.
Yeah.
Because, resolutions is, I think, a cop out usually. Like,
it's kind of how I feel.
You know?
Yeah.
If you want to do it, just do it.
Then do it.
You know?
Right.
I wanted to quit drinking, so I didn't wait for the new year. I was... It just coincided with the new year.
This guy. I want to quit drinking. I quit drinking. You just quit.
Yeah,
just
it's so easy. No.
But it's a big thing.
It can be hard.
And congratulations again.
Yeah. It was good. I'm glad I did, and you know, like I feel good. Will I say it'll be that way forever? I can't say that, but if I do ever get back to a point where I want to have a drink here and there, I'd rather do it the way you say, like, you know, Friday I'm gonna have a glass,
right?
But not.
Well, I'm not great at that. Now,
but it would be like Friday I'm gonna have a bottle.
Yeah,
that's how that's where I don't want it to get to, is even though it's a Friday, I'm gonna drink like I needed all them drinks all week. And that was my issue, is like that's what happened. Bottles wouldn't last in my house. Like those bottles, if I was like drinking prior to that first bottle, you know, wouldn't have made that shit. Like, that shit would have been
There's
empty.
no way a bottle would have lasted a year. Yeah.
Oh, a month? You're joking.
Right.
Yeah, there's no way a bottle would have lasted a month.
Right.
Because I would just, let's drink half.
Right.
Well, you know, because you just drink and you just forget.
Couple drinks. And, you know, I mean, like, really.
I drink because it's fun. I'm having fun.
Right.
So I'm not thinking about how I feel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So by the time it's like, or I'm not counting drinks either.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just,
Well, I mean, I
feel great. And then all of a sudden it's like, you're here and then you're not.
Yeah. See, yeah. And we both were getting to that point of like blacking out and stuff. That's not.
And I'm a blackout, like big time.
Yeah.
I black out anytime I get really drunk. I always black out.
Yeah.
Like you will once in a while, I think.
Sometimes.
But you were pretty good with remembering. Alicia doesn't really ever get that way ever.
Yeah.
I think I've seen her fucked up once.
Yeah.
Once. And that's because she was doing those drops.
Yeah.
So she was eating like maybe 500 calories a day.
That's not enough.
And it was that night they went out.
Oh.
Remember? To the strip club?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. A long time ago. I forgot that she was doing drops back then.
Yeah. That was the drunkest I've ever seen my wife.
Yeah.
Ever.
That was a good time. I felt like kicking the crap out of her.
She still had my back the whole time though.
Yeah.
Oh, my husband. Like stupid.
She didn't want me to take her home. She was embarrassed.
Well, she was. She didn't want Elliot to see her that way because you had
Elliot with us.
You had Elliot with you in the car because you had to go pick up. You were gonna go pick him up.
That's right. And he was a baby. Yeah.
She didn't want it. Yeah.
He was a baby. You wouldn't have known.
She's a mom. She has his mom.
I know.
Alicia is a hard ass, but when she loves kids.
Yeah.
She's a hard ass with kids, but
she loves them.
She loves kids.
Yeah.
Oh my. Speaking of kids, they're talking, well, not even kids. But there's this Mexican fucking tradition. I forget what it's called. Rio del Reyes or something. It's a bread thing.
Oh.
So the girls at work will host dinners, or they're trying to do that. I don't know. But you put a baby on a bread, right?
Oh.
And then whoever gets the baby is the host. They have to cook the dinner.
Okay.
That's how it goes.
And that's a Mexican thing?
I had to look it up.
Huh.
Alicia sends me a text. Babe, her friend Natalia at work, she has a baby and she's making fun of me. And I'm like, okay. I was like, oh man, and she know you love babies. I'm saying you love babies. And then she said something about the Mexican tradition, and I was like, what are you fucking talking about? I'm like, babe, I put a voice. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I don't know.
What's Mexican? What do you mean Mexican baby on bread? What is going on? Like, what are you talking about?
Natalia has a Mexican baby that she put on bread. I'm so lost.
Yeah, so I'm like, text her this, and then I look it up, and then I'm like, the only thing I'm seeing is about bread. Like, what are you talking about? And she sends me just almost simultaneously. Hers comes in, and it's
the same thing.
It's the same thing. So she was talking about the tradition.
Gotcha.
Assuming
that you knew the tradition.
Assuming I knew it, and I was like, I ended up sending her voicemail, like our voice message, like, hey, I legit thought you were talking about a fucking baby right now.
You put a real baby on bread?
And I had no idea what you're talking about bread. Like, I'm so lost.
So how does it work?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't remember.
They take a little plastic baby.
I might still have it up here.
And if you get the loaf with the baby, how would you not know that the baby was on the bread? You'd see the baby, right? See. It was like the ring in the cake.
Was it baby on bread? Oh wait, yeah, baby. What did I do? Mexican tradition. That's what I wrote. Mexican.
I'm not knocking the tradition. I just
it
was understand how
it was a weird baby on bread Mexican tradition. Oh, rosca de reyes, or king's cake, is a customly eaten. The tradition of eating the bread 12 days after Christmas is based on beliefs in the Christmas faith.
Oh, okay.
And inside every rosca de reyes is a little plastic baby symbolizing the newborn Messiah.
Inside, but they only put one in one of the pieces of bread. So 12 days after Christmas, they're going to eat the bread,
and whoever gets the baby,
the baby is going to host.
That's apparently
that's cool. There's a lot of places around the world.
It is really cool, but I was just like, what are you fucking talking about?
Baby and bread. That sounds like a really bad idea.
Because I'm like, you love babies. That's messed up.
Why would you eat the baby?
Well, because the first text is like, she has the baby and she's making fun of me. I'm like,
oh, so she got the baby?
Yeah, Natalia got the baby.
Oh, Natalia got the baby.
And so Natalia
is going to host.
Was making fun of her, like teasing her, I win, or whatever. But I'm thinking she has a literal baby.
Yeah.
I was like, you can't see the baby.
Right.
It's only for me.
What a bitch.
At least he loves babies. So that's how the whole combo started. And I was like, and then when she threw out the bread comment, I was like,
okay,
whoa.
Now I'm lost.
What are we talking about?
Bread? There's a baby and bread, or
like you
a bread baby?
The baby with bread? Or?
I don't think babies can eat bread. I don't know. So they're going to do like a dinner like we did. Like they're going to host a dinner and everyone's going to go over and...
I don't know. Like her... So it would be... Sometimes it's... No, they've never done nothing like that.
Yeah.
I know Natalia's done dinner with like a couple of the old past coworkers.
Okay.
My friend Efren's wife and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't get into it. I was too confused with the baby.
Yeah, the baby and the bread thing.
Yeah. And right now, I didn't realize it was baked in the bread.
Are we 12 days past Christmas?
I thought the baby was literally like just maybe like it was a plastic baby on top of a piece of bread.
That's what I thought.
She picked out a litter, and that was the one.
Whoever goes first wins, right? Unless you don't.
I got it.
Okay, there's the baby. But no, baked inside makes sense.
Man, if you sucked at bacon, the baby's hands hanging.
But how do you not get some of the plastic from the baby into the bread if it's hot and it's baked?
Maybe it doesn't melt. Maybe it has a high melting point.
At first, was it like a wax baby? And then they're like, oh shit, this really didn't work well. This is melted in. Can you imagine
a plastic, you bite it and it's just like...
I wish
they like bite that
America
cookie. I made some roller cookies. Those things sucked.
No. You're too hard on yourself. They sucked when they cooled down and were
They sucked from the get.
But your new ones, man, they were so good. I didn't give my kids any.
Yeah. So I made these. So on New Year's we made little foods, and it was Tom's. They just had a pup. They just had babies. It's one of his
the puppy
puppies.
did, yeah.
And so they couldn't make it to New Year's. Tom came over and said hi and stuff.
I do want to clarify. I don't believe in making puppies, like, whatever. I believe in fixing your animal. We have a foster dog who is pregnant, so they're foster puppies.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
Go ahead.
yeah. But like, so I had baked some cookies, and I hadn't baked these cookies in a long time. They're Rolo cookies. They usually come out really soft, and they're really good usually. And these ones were like, I used a different ingredient than I normally did, and so they were really rock hard, and I didn't like how they tasted, and so I was like, I got to redeem myself. Tom had them, and he's like, no, they're good. I'm like, bro, these suck.
I can taste where you're going with them. Yeah,
they were like that hard.
Only when they cooled,
which they were already cold, so.
Semi-hard.
Even when they weren't, they were hard. As soon as I felt them, I could feel the hardness. But like, so I remade them the other day, Friday, I think it was.
Yeah,
and they're so much better. Like night.
They were delicious.
JJ's like, oh, these are so good.
They were
good. I've had a few of them myself, so
yeah.
I'm like, ooh, because I love Rolos already.
Yeah,
they have to melt. They melt in this chocolate cookie. And the cookie's kind of moist.
Chocolate cookie with the melted Rolo inside. It's good. It's very good.
Ooh, heat it up in the microwave the next day or something.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
See, this is why I gained 20 pounds over the holiday. I threw caution to the wind. We just ate, and it was lovely. And I haven't been working out normally. I'm very proud of myself. I started working out again this last week. Did 4 days straight.
Oh, that's good.
Of working out.
Me and Lisa have been doing these Pilates.
Windsor Pilates.
It's like about a 15-minute workout.
Nice.
And some of the moves are a little weird. Like I was doing one, I'm like, babe, this feels wrong. I'm like, this, like, is there? I have to make sure no one's trying to hit it from the back right now. The way I'm fucking doing
downward facing dog.
Like I'm like my feet are against the wall, but then I'm like arched back, and I'm like slamming, like if I'm fucking
slamming
taking
against
it back
the wall.
Yeah, it's a weird exercise.
I think I'll just stick to my weightlifting and running.
It's more like for like you get stretched out. Which I don't. Yeah. I need that.
That's good.
But some of it's like sucks because it's you do a lot of with your like squats and stuff. So that's the ones that I'm like, because it's a timer, and I'm like, dude, can this thing fucking go off already?
Yeah, right.
I can't. Yeah, or anything that's like bendy, I can't do either.
If I get tired of something, I stop. Like I don't, that's not my kind of working out. My kind of working out is more like the weights and stuff. And like, if I'm at the point I'm like, I think I'm done, then I'm like, okay.
Yeah. It's only 30 seconds, but we're doing like these squats, weird squats.
30 seconds can be a long time.
They work great, mind you. My legs, they feel good, but it's like, they suck.
Right.
I love leg day. I'm not a huge leg day fan.
I really like benching. I like free weights. I like that.
So I started curling because I need to get, these guys going.
Right.
But
yeah, I've been running again. It's so funny. So the last story I have for the week is my primary story.
Oh yeah. This is a good story.
So, first off, I'm very proud of myself because Wednesday night I went for a run, and like I ran farther than I've ran in probably 5 years. I ran all the way basically to Elliott Lake. You know where Elliott Lake is? I went up Olympia, which I know it doesn't mean anything.
You ran the whole time?
I walked up our street just as a warm up, and then when I got to Olympia, I started running, and I didn't stop until I went down the hill, because I don't run down hills because of my knees. Yeah. Old people shit.
No, I get it.
But once I hit that hill that goes down towards Elliott Lake, then I started walking, and then when I got to the bottom, I ran again until I got to the hill going up behind your house.
Yeah.
So I ran, I don't know how, but quite a bit.
That's a good distance.
And it felt really good. 2 nights before that, Monday night, I just took Harvey for a long walk, which I try to go at a good pace. So I consider that exercise.
Oh, yeah.
Good cardio.
A walk's amazing.
And when I walk, it's very dark right now. So I want to draw a picture for everyone.
And where he's talking to, it's there's no streetlights.
No,
Nothing.
it gets
You don't even
dark.
have the neighbor's like
Right.
porch light on normally.
So like there's parts of this long path that are more city established where there are streetlights and things. And then there's, like you said, areas where it's very dark. So I have my reflective vest. It's like a construction vest from one of Walker's old work sites because it's got pockets and stuff so I can keep stuff in it.
Dude, that's awesome.
Okay. I got my, I have a strap around my waist that my dog's leash connects to, so I don't have to hold it the whole time. I've got a hat on because it's a little moist outside most nights. I have my dad bought me a headset for when I'm mowing the lawn. It's like a 3M type, like a gun type headset.
Yeah, they look like these.
Yeah,
in a sense.
they cover your whole ear, but you can listen to music through them. So I got that on, and then I have usually a headlamp, but my headlamp was kind of dying, so I had a handheld lamp, right?
Oh, nice.
So I'm walking. I got all this stuff on. Like I'm doing my best. I got poop bags on me just in case. Like I'm being a responsible person for my own safety, for the safety of others, for my dog. So I get up behind this guy's house. There's a steep hill, and then you round the corner, and that's where it gets dark.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been through this neighborhood 1,000 times.
Yeah,
it's
same.
It's
I've
my
ran
big
past there.
4-mile path that I go on. This is like my path. Right?
Yeah.
I do this. I love it. I enjoy it. And I just thought about how I'll always do this path. Like for 70 years from now, if I'm still alive, I'll be walking this path.
Yeah.
No joke. Within 20 minutes of that thought, I get up to that point where I round that corner and it's dark. And I start going around that corner. I'm walking and I see a shadowy figure in front of me.
Okay,
Don't think anything of it. I'm like, I'm a big guy. I have a dog.
I'll be all right.
Whoever it is. And it kind of looked like multiple kids at first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it could be fun. It could be nice.
And it's a good area. It's not you're
not a bad area, but it's a little rural at that point. It gets a little bit like there's a big open field area.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of goes down towards not so great of area.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really worried about it. I just couldn't see hardly at all. And then there was also a truck coming at me, so the really high headlights.
Didn't that suck?
So I couldn't see at all. And I'm listening to my podcast, by the way, about serial killers. I'm listening to some fucked up shit in my head right there. And I'm going, and all of a sudden I kind of hear a little voice. And this old lady comes off from the side, grabs her arm and says, "Stop!" So I stop and I pull my headset off. I go, "Oh, I'm sorry. Like, yeah, what do you need?" Try to be nice.
Yeah.
Because she's an old lady. I like to be nice to old people.
Yeah.
She's like, my dog. And I look down and her little ankle biter dog is running around my dog. I'm like, okay. And like, I got my light in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, can you pick him up? Like rude. So I'm like, yeah, I'm working on it. So I have to adjust my light and I grab his collar and I kind of pull him up. My dog's doing nothing. My dog's like this.
Harvey's around so many dogs.
My dog's just like looking at it like, oh, what are you? Like, you're in my face, basically.
Yeah.
And she comes at me with, I was letting my dog out to go to the bathroom. People usually don't walk on this road. And you had those things on and you couldn't hear me. And I don't like that. I said, okay, ma'am. Well, I'm walking my dog on the public street. Like,
yeah.
And I go,
sorry, but it bugs me she grabbed you.
Oh, I was, when she came at me with an attitude, like she was mad I was even there, is when I started to switch from like, oh, yeah, let me help to like, no, I'm going to stay on my ground. I'm not going to be rude to you, but I'm definitely not going to apologize to you for doing my God-given right as an American
to go for
to walk on a public street that my taxes pay for. Yeah. We're not in her yard, by the way.
No, because her yard is like the whole street, and then there's like
a huge gravel
levee way, and then there's
I'm just like, lady. So she's mad at me because I couldn't hear her that her stupid dog was in front of me.
Bitch.
So I'm like, I just told her, like, ma'am, I'm in the street. You really should have your dog on a leash. And she goes, I don't have to have my dog on a leash in my yard. I said, well, ma'am, we're not in your yard. We're in a public street. And your dog is in front of me and my dog. So, yeah, you need to have your dog on a leash. She goes, we're done here.
Yeah, we are.
And I go, and earlier I had said, I walk on this street a lot. Like I'm here frequently. And then she starts to go in after she tells me that we're done because she gets to decide everything.
Yeah, of course.
And I stopped her, didn't grab her. I just said, ma'am, and she stopped and looked at me. I said, I just want to make it very clear. I will be walking on this street with my dog
for the next 70 years.
I didn't tell her this, but I will not be stopping next time. Just keep your fucking hands off me, and you can chase your dog down. I won't stop for her next time. You're going to be freaking rude like that. I don't care how old you are. Be respectful. Be polite. I was like trying to be super nice.
Well, the fact that she grabs your arms already very disrespectful.
Right. And she grabbed. And look, I forgive it because I didn't hear her, but I don't have to hear you. I'm not on a walk to hear you. I'm on a walk to relax
and not hear anyone.
To not be involved with your bullshit.
You see this bubble? You're fucking invading me.
God's green earth, she thought she was in the right. That's the part that still just irks me.
Oh, she's still probably telling the story about. She's
probably thinking that she's right. And I'm just like,
honey,
because it's your street. That's how, because it used to not be a through street. So in her mind, she owns that whole area, but she doesn't.
It's been a through street since I can remember.
Right. But that, ever since they put that new neighborhood in, they extended it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it doesn't matter what you feel because for 68 years you lived there and it was your little street. It's not your street.
But it's so funny because the street would end at one time, but it's still like it's still a street that leads to one of the main streets.
It just doesn't matter. It's not your fucking street. You don't own the street. And I'm just walking. It's not like I'm parking a car in front of her house or something. Like, I'm just walking.
I don't like when people are rude for no reason.
No, she was just absolutely rude because she was so mad that I had my headphone on and I couldn't hear. Your dog approached me.
God, I hate
your dog was in the road interfering with my walk, for one thing.
Yeah.
I should have been pissed.
Well,
and the one thing that made me mad is it does piss me off when people don't have their dogs on a leash. Like, I get you guys don't because you can control your dog. But there are people that
mean, we don't walk our dog. Well, I let my dogs out to go to the bathroom in our front yard.
And you're with them. But like,
and then I come back.
For her to act like I was in the wrong because my dog was on a leash, and it pisses me off when people don't have control of their dogs and their dog's off a leash. I'm a big believer in dogs being on a leash and all that shit. So when I brought up to her, your dog should be on a leash, and then she threw at me, not in my yard. I'm like, where the fuck do you think we are? I didn't say that to her. I was very respectful. But I'm just like, we're in the street, lady.
The fact that you just, you know what?
I just
You're
kept
so much
calling
more
her ma'am as condescending as I could. Like,
okay,
the more rude she
ma'am.
got, I kept saying like, well, ma'am, we are in the public street.
I would have just kept...
And I said, there are no rules against me wearing my headset. There are rules about your dog being off a leash. She goes, not in my yard. I said, well, we're not in your yard, ma'am. We're in a public street. That's when she got pissed and said, we're done here. I'm like, are we done here? Because have I made my point? Do you realize how freaking stupid you are?
You should have been like, no, we're not.
Well,
yet.
Next time
you come back
I
here.
flat out will not be stopping. She can follow me and get her goddamn dog when she catches up, I guess. Like, and I don't like to be that way.
I wouldn't,
but
you know what?
Absolutely rude, and still does not understand after me leaving how wrong she was.
I wouldn't try to grab someone else's dog anyway, just because what if the fucking...
Can you pick up your dog? My dog's not doing anything.
Your dog's also fucking 75 pounds.
I'm like, I don't want her dog getting... Yeah, seriously. I'm like,
yeah, I'll pick him up.
Well, and my dog's on a leash.
Yeah.
Your dog's not.
Harvey's such a good boy.
You wouldn't have had this problem if you took your dog out on a leash. I totally forgive the fact she didn't have her dog on a leash. If she came to me, I'm so sorry. Nobody usually walks on this street. I would have been totally fine with it.
Well, was she going to let her dog just shit on the street?
Probably.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah, probably.
I would have been pissed if I'd have walked.
She just had, because they were, okay.
I know
Jesse's going to know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You guys won't. There's a house and then there's like outbuildings.
Yeah.
She was over by the outbuilding. She wasn't by her house. So they're shitting over in the countryside area, which is fine. Look, I get it. You have your dog, like you guys, like even like us. We let our dogs out in the back, of course, off a leash. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
You're not used to people being here. Do I take offense that your dog's in my dog space? No, I told her we have tons of dogs. I get it. No problem. Thinking she was going to be a rational person and be like, I'm so sorry. She didn't say sorry once. It was very clear to me that in her mind, it was all my fault. I shouldn't have been there in the first place.
You shouldn't have been wearing headphones.
Those things on my head. That's the thing that really pissed me off. It was the second time around when I was making that case, like, your dog's in the street, blah, blah, blah. She goes, yeah, but you had those things on your head and you couldn't hear me. And I don't like that. And she said it like that. And I go, there is no rule against me wearing these things. There is a rule about your dog being on a leash.
Washington Law 36, Section B-A.
Thou shalt not walk with headphones.
Yeah.
She's going to go to Kennewick City Council to petition that shit. She strikes me as that type, a Karen.
She's like, I do not need people wearing headphones
God.
on my screen.
And I don't like that. Oh my God.
I was at Yokes the other day, and I don't get why people are rude for no reason.
Yeah.
So this cashier guy, right? I politely said, "How's your day going?" "Fine." And I'm like, "Okay."
You're
like,
a cashier, bro.
I'm like, "Okay." And then my card didn't scan right. And instead of going, "Oh, your card's been declined," right? He's like, "You have no funds." You're like, he said something like, "It says it's rejected because there's no funds or something in there." And like calling me out, I'm like, "Bro." And he was just such a dick for no reason.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is your fucking problem right now? Like, why are you being a
I
dick?
have never had a bad experience.
Like, I was getting annoyed, like to the point where I was going to say, "What the fuck's your problem, dude? Like,
Right.
why are you being an asshole?"
Where's your manager? Let's have a conversation.
Like,
bro.
he's just being a dick. And I guess I was like, yeah, I was telling Alicia, I was like, yeah, there's this cashier. He was had a dick. And the cheeky goes, is he the Hispanic kid or like guy? And she describes him. I'm like, yeah, it's him. She goes, yeah, we were doing something and he was mad because Nana, like our daughter, she forgot her card or something. And so he had to like, unscan the items or something. And he was like slamming shit.
I've never seen that kid.
And I was like, he always wears a shirt and then he'll like have a long sleeve underneath it. He doesn't cashier too often.
He's a Hispanic kid?
Yeah. I think he's Hispanic or
Is
he's
he a
something.
bigger guy?
He's tall. He's a little taller.
Heavier set, right?
Not super heavy set. No, he's
I'll
have to point him out.
Next time
I'll fucking point him out.
Next time I see that kid, I'm going to go through his lane.
I'm going to go through his lane too and ask him, how you doing?
How you doing, bro?
And then when he comes rude to me again, I'm going to be like, fuck you.
Yeah.
No, he was rude for no reason to be
I'll use a card I know has no money on it. Yeah, bro. Oh, I'm sorry. Apparently, I don't have no fucking funds.
No, he legit, instead of saying, hey, your card's been declined, he was like,
Well, half the time, though, and probably
it's
the same
rejected.
scenario, I've had that happen. There's plenty of money on there. It doesn't register right.
Yeah, that's what mine was.
Yeah.
Like because then I ended up using just the credit card. I was like, well, I'll just use it. Because it kind of embarrassed me a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
So I was like, because there's people behind me and I'm like, why are you fucking saying that? Like,
put me on blast.
I get it.
Here.
I get it. You're
No, you don't. No.
But I was like, have manners. That's the thing I'm getting at. You're customer
respectful.
service.
And
I know how it is.
I don't think a customer service person should have to just take it if the customer's being a dick. I get standing up for yourself, but if your customer's being polite, your job is to be polite back.
Like, he was annoyed that I asked him how he was doing, right? From the jump.
Obviously, he's not doing very well.
And he was just like, well, fucking, I'm doing fine. Like,
yeah.
Like, it was like, I'm doing fine. Jesus, fucking don't fucking talk to me.
Right.
And then when he gave me a receipt, he's like, I was like,
he tossed it at you?
No, if he would have tossed it at me, I would have been like, what the fuck's wrong with you? I would have said something to him. I would have been, because I get to the point where I get mad, I'll cuss at someone.
Yeah, sure.
Like, I told some kid, and it wasn't his fault. And I'm sorry, kid, if you ever hear this. But I had something, I can't remember the scenario, but I had a picture that I was trying to have him something. He's like, no, you can't do this, or you can't have it, or something. And I was like, I go, what? And he's like, yeah. And the way his tact wasn't very well. And then I was like, are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck? Like, whatever, fuck you, I said, fuck you. Get the fuck out of here.
Well,
I was just so pissed.
At the same time, though, kid, you learn how to talk.
Yeah.
Learn how to be respectful to customers. They're here to spend money, which is the whole point. Dude. So don't push them away with bad customer service.
I want to go to his line again to see how.
If I
just
ever
just because I want him to be a dick now.
If I ever see that kid, I'm going to go through his line.
I'll have to point him out. I'll take a picture of him.
If he gives me a bad time, I'm going to ask him, where's your manager? And I'm going to have a conversation. My friend had a bad experience. His daughter had a bad experience. Now I've had a bad experience.
Like, what is going on?
So what is going on in this establishment, sir?
I used to love coming here.
This is my store. I lived a block away from this place. I swear to God, I'll go to Walmart.
Why is he ringing my things up?
You want bad customer service? Go to Walmart. Everybody there is going to walk away from
I don't know, man.
It's getting a little better. I was like, I don't know. I've had some good. I will. It's total joke. About 5 years ago, they would have walked away from you.
Probably.
I had people about face to get away from me at Walmart.
I've had that happen.
But ever since it's not 24 hours a day, it seems to be getting a little better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
do we have a question of the week this week, or
you know what? I don't.
What would you do?
Wait.
If an old lady grabs your arm and was rude to you?
There you go. That's question.
Hey, no, like truly, yeah, good question, because it was hard. I had no issue standing up for myself and just being pretty blunt with her when I had to be. But, there is a respect element I think you still need to maintain when someone's an elder. And so I gave her, I didn't cuss at her or do anything inappropriate, but I stood my ground and explained to her why she was wrong.
Yeah.
So, in a situation like that, what would you have done? That's my question. What would you have done
in a situation? Yeah,
like
I probably would myself. If she would have grabbed me, I would have been like, "What the hell are you like? What the fuck?" I would have been polite to a point.
Me again, I would tell her.
I'd have been like, "Whoa, why are you grabbing me? Like, don't touch me."
Well, I told Blanca
it's
later.
different if she's like, "Oh, hey." Instead, I picture her going like this.
Kind of.
That
she did like this, like, "Hey."
I'd have been like,
because she was afraid that my dog was going to hurt her dog.
I'd have pushed her.
Again, is your fault because your dog should have been on a leash.
I would have kicked her dog and pushed her down.
If she had apologized, like, "Hey," and like, "Oh, then I would have said, "I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you." And she'd be like, "I'm sorry, my dog's not on a leash. People usually aren't around here. This is totally my fault." I would have been like, "No problem."
See, the way you say it, the way you
implying that it's my fault. Nah. Nah. It's not my fault. This is 100% your fault.
I think if it started becoming this altercation, that's where I would have been like, I would have, like I had told you, I would have probably just kept walking.
Well, I told Blanca.
Anyway, leave your dog alone.
I wanted to pull a Tony Soprano move and the next day go to her house all politely and smiling with a leash and be like, "Since you can't afford it, I thought I'd bring you a leash."
That'd be awesome.
I was like, "Fucking bitch." I will say things behind her back because I don't want to be that respectful. But God, that made me very, very angry.
I think once she grabbed me and did all that, I would have probably just, I wouldn't have stayed. I would have just kept walking. Like, I would have ignored her. Like,
no matter
fuck you. Why you
where my line with respect of age is drawn is if you're just blatantly rude,
assault.
Yeah, you assaulted me. You battered me, lady.
You were battered, bro.
I was bad. I told Blanca, "Can you grab my arm real hard so I can call the police and say that she hurt me?" Because technically, she grabbed me. Cameras would have picked it up. If I got marked, she goes to jail.
It's true.
You don't touch other people because if there's any mark, they go to jail.
On this note, her husband drives around our neighborhood with his dog on the back of one of those little 4-wheeled.
Yeah, like the tiny truck ones, but he
drives around and he constantly drives around. He'll report people.
See, I thought you had told me that.
Yeah.
And she's the same fucking way.
Yeah, he'll report so if he sees more weeds than normal in like someone's like driveway, he'll report them to the city.
So both of these people need to just take a check.
He's probably going to report my truck because my truck's parked alongside the fence.
Well, he does that. I'm going to report.
He's going to report my truck because its tabs are expired, right? So, but I'm not on
parked, guy.
Yeah, I know.
And you're not on a city street. You're on a whatever the fuck you call it.
Eric's levee, or not even like people park there. You park there and stuff.
Okay.
Like I'm in an area where it's not like
they are very unhappy people then.
Yeah,
both of you guys need to take a freaking chill pill.
Yeah.
And leave the rest of the world alone. Yeah. God.
And I'm not saying it's him, but it's him because he's the only one that does that. And then we have these other people.
Does he have driving through your neighborhood 50 times in a probably not even street legal vehicle?
He's in it all the
time. I see him all the time.
All the time.
I knew that
him
was
and his glassy ass dog,
which is
a beautiful dog. I'm not gonna lie, it's a beautiful dog. It's black, white. It's really
all
pretty.
Dogs.
But there's a neighbor though that they walk around. Him and his wife, or just the wife sometimes, but they have their dog not on a leash. Always, it's never on a leash, and it shits in everyone's yards, and they never pick it up.
And that's very fucking rude, and it drives me nuts.
Pick your dog shit up, put it on a leash,
and if somebody's walking through your neighborhood, and your dog's not on a leash,
I'm gonna kick you.
Don't get mad at the person walking through. Take care of your freaking dog. No, it drives me nuts, guys, because I see it all the time. Well, we have foster upon foster upon foster because of people like that who are not responsible and stupid. It boils down to that.
So I let my dog out the other day to go to the bathroom, Rex, and it was night. It was dark. And so my neighborhood is also I don't have a street light where I'm at. So my neighbor, my new neighbor, he walks his dog, but they use a leash.
Good.
But they also let it shit in other people's yards and they don't pick it up. But Rex, as soon as he went out, bolted.
Yeah.
And because I didn't see them because it was dark.
Yeah.
And then I was like, Rex, get over
here. Yeah, but you felt responsible for that.
Oh, I did. I was like, hey, I'm sorry.
See,
like, oh
that's
my God,
what
I'm
the
sorry.
old lady should have done to
He's
me.
like, it's
I'm
okay.
so sorry. Not make it my fucking fault.
But the cool thing is Rex listened really well.
Good
and I was
boy,
like,
Rex.
and I didn't get mad at him. I was like, good boy. You listen, come on in, bro. He came right back. He came quick. And before he would be like, still around.
Stand his ground.
He's scary, man. His fucking fur on his back.
Yeah, we're talking
he's probably 50, 60 pounds.
What breed?
He's a boxer.
A boxer, which looks like a scary dog if you don't know the boxers are babies. But
yeah, he's a big baby.
But yeah, they look very scary.
He loves Tom.
He's a good boy. Well, we saved him. He was in anyway,
he remembers.
Whatever.
You guys have a good week.
You know what, guys? We love you. Hang in there. We're gonna make some changes. By the way, we're gonna actually add some detail to this
we were
wall.
adding some.
Don't know how long, but we got a plan. We might even make some shirts or something. We were just talking.
Yeah,
about,
that'd be sick.
So
thank you to all the new subscribers out there.
Yeah,
really appreciate
listening.
it. We're starting to get a little more traction.
Look, praise God, praise y'all. Have a good
praise
week.
God, Allah,
Allah, whoever you pray to,
Yahweh. I think.
Yeah,
is that a little Jew one? I don't know.
God,
Krishna, is that another one?
Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Krishna's kind of cool looking.
Yeah, I bought a book about Krishna. Couldn't get through it very far. It was a little
that's
interesting, but
I like it.
George Harrison was a Krishna.
I like Indian women.
Yeah, there you go.
I do.
It's a Krishna. So God,
they're beautiful people. I think
they are. Yeah, they are. They are beautiful people.
Yeah.
All right,
anyway,
guys.
You guys have a good one.
Have a great week. I'm gonna actually play the music to get us out this time.
Yeah. Sorry. It's not like we went over. Oh man, my ears.
Wait a minute. Oh shoot. What the fuck am I doing?
What'd you push?